We are more than halfway towards the top and finding out the all-time best gaming setups from Reddit. Welcome to episode 3. Sit back and relax, and let's continue to climb the ladder. If you hate paying full price for something, only to find out it's on sale the very next day, you need Vetted. Vetted is a free browser extension that shows you price history and expert reviews on products right on Amazon, so you can get the best deal. Let's say you're thinking about buying a gaming mouse. Not only do you get to see when might be the best time to buy it, but also how it compares to other options. You'll see why they ranked the products they did because the research is all right here. Reviews and ratings from trustworthy sources like Wirecutter and Reddit. But my favorite thing about Vetted is that it works right on Amazon and Google. So I can have all the information I need to make the best decision in one place and not waste time checking multiple websites. So shop smarter with Vetted and start saving time and money. You guys can get it for free using my link down below. It's super easy to sign up and it also helps support the channel. So we left off at official Zeniz or Zenizi with 12.1k votes and his very clean TIE Fighter monitor setup. I love how aesthetically pleasing this setup is to look at. Symmetry always gets me moist. The fact that there is spacing between the monitors doesn't even bother me anymore. I actually think it looks really nice. Except there is more of a gap on the left side than there is on the right. Just a small little nitpick. Also, since there are gaps between the monitors, having the thicker bezel facing inwards doesn't really make a difference here. I don't know where he got those side tables from that's supporting the table, but they look really clean, and it's refreshing to see something other than an IKEA Alex drawer. I only have 2 recommendations for this setup. Number 1, add some white raceways to cover the cables underneath your desk. You definitely care about cable management considering you have them for your monitor cables, and you even drilled holes through the desk, so why not go the extra mile here? Number 2, I would add some space between the PC and the side table. It looks like you have an AIO mounted vertically, so it's starving for air, which will affect your CPU temps. So just add like an inch of space between your drawer and the PC and you'll be fine. Otherwise, a very clean and minimal setup. Well done. Oh man, oh man, oh man. My stress levels just melted looking at this setup. Can you imagine coming home from a long day at work and sitting at this setup to game or watch a movie? Or better yet, imagine this is your work from home setup. That view is incredible. It's so perfect. It looks like he's either in the middle of nowhere or deep in the forest. I would honestly crap my pants sitting at this setup at night. I would hope there are some sort of blinds or shades to cover the windows at night, but it's an awesome setup, mostly because of the view. Don't believe me? Here's what the setup would look like against a white wall. Not so pleasant, is it? Regardless, I'm giving this setup a 9 because it really complements the view here. The owner of this setup is either the cleanest person on this planet or he literally just finished putting together this setup because there's no way he's able to keep it this clean for years. Okay, this means you can't have any drinks or food near your setup. A single Cheetos will destroy his setup's career. All jokes aside, this is a very clean laptop setup. The color coordination, the wallpaper choice, I love everything about it. It's lacking personality, but you know, it's a minimal setup. What more do you want? From one clean setup to the next, ladies and gents, this one actually got a lot of awards, and rightfully so. This is one good looking workstation. Looks like it's powered by another laptop and there's a tablet hooked up as a secondary display, but I love how both wallpapers match the picture on the top. That is seriously some next level coordination there. And it's got me thinking, like, did he print the wallpaper and made it into a picture frame, or did he find a really nice picture frame and convert that into a wallpaper? Either way, it looks awesome. So since you're going for that wood look, I would recommend a pair of some really nice speaker stands. There's a bunch of really cool custom ones that you can find on Etsy. It will match your setup, but more importantly, it will bring the speakers to your ear level for a better experience. Also, since you're not really using your laptop's display, you can pick up a cheap laptop holder instead of keeping your laptop flat on your desk. This one from Amazon will not only complement your setup, but it will keep your workspace neat and tidy. But yeah, overall, very clean setup. This one was on Setup Wars a while back. I can't remember which episode it was, sadly, but it was one of the more unique submissions that came across my lap. I think I called this the Inception setup, just because of the way how the top part curves over, kind of like the scene from the movie. I love the custom-made desk and the custom frame that he used for the PC. It's called a PVC Battlestation, so I'm guessing it's all made from PVC, which makes sense because it's really easy to bend the PVC once you apply some heat to it. I don't know about you guys, but I would have anxiety every time I use this setup, thinking that the AIO is gonna somehow fall down and smack me right in my face. But I absolutely love the idea behind this setup. It's very cool and unique. Nothing like this exists out there in the world, at least to my knowledge. But there are some areas that Justin could improve on, and I think I even mentioned this in the Setup Wars video. Number one, I would have gone with custom cables. The stock PS2 cables just stick out so much and it ruins this beauty, right? Like, this is not just a setup, it's a work of art, and I hate when small things like that take away from the overall presentation. Number two, you could have gone with right angle cables for your power supply and your graphics card. That way they don't stick out as much. I also use a right angle cable for my power supply, but you can't really tell because it doesn't stick out. Other than that, the cables from the peripherals could have been tidied up a bit more, but overall still a very stunning setup. Speaking of unique, wow, holy moly, here's another very unique custom desk. Looks like this user cut into his desk the shape of his PC case, which looks like the Corsair 680X. I could be wrong though. But I also see that he modded the rest of the desk as well by adding RGB lighting inside. That's actually pretty cool. Okay, I was able to find additional pictures. Here is how he modded the desk. You can see just how much work that went into it. It's not a simple job by any means. And I just love how perfectly the case fits in the desk. It's almost satisfying actually. It looks like the case fits in the desk like a glove. Very nice woodwork overall. My only concern with this type of mod is airflow. But if you look closely, there is a cutout in the back of the case to allow for air to escape, but he didn't put an exhaust fan there. Instead, we got 3 intake in the front and then 3 more on the top, so the PC has neutral pressure. He was also smart enough to drill a hole in the back to pass through the cables, and he was even able to sync all the lights together so he can change it to whatever he wants. That is actually big brain moves. Speaking of big, is the shape of the lamp a bit sus, or am I just overthinking here? So the only problem with this setup is upgradability, right? Like, what do you do if you want to upgrade your case? Or let's say you buy a 40 series card and doesn't fit your current case. Like, what do you do? What are your options here? This desk is dependent on the case he's using. So he's pretty much stuck with it until he decides to modify it again for the new case he upgrades to. That just sounds very inconvenient, but all that aside, I still think it's an awesome desk mod. I'm actually more impressed at the strength of the monitor mount than I am with the layout of the setup. How has the table not tipped over? I must know what mount this guy is using. It must be made out of Valerian steel or something. This is like the perfect setup to read terms and conditions. No, you know what? This is the perfect setup if all you do every day is read articles. Can you imagine how much line of code you can fit on this monitor? This is probably like the most efficient way of doing coding. I love how the monitor is powered by a laptop. The more you look at this setup, the more it doesn't make sense. But hey, you got 12.4K votes, so it's gotta be worthy, right? How do you even use this? Look how close the monitor is to the edge of the desk and how far away the mouse is. Like, you have to reach your arm over past the monitor to use it. And then you can't even see the top of the monitor. You have to literally be standing to see it. Like, he's either using the keyboard from the laptop or a controller to navigate because the mouse is not functional here, unfortunately. I know it's a meme post, but clearly it worked. But it's just not practical. And here we have Nick's cozy setup. He was featured on Setup Wars a while back. I believe all the plants are real. None of it's fake if I remember correctly. But the most impressive thing about this setup is the giant custom pegboard that he made. It's very versatile. He can mount his shelves anywhere he wants, since all he has to do is remove the pegs and stick it in another hole. I would imagine Nick is very good at pegging, since he has plenty of practice with this setup. I also love the view he's got. We don't get to see much of it in the picture, but it looks like he's pretty high up there overlooking the city. Now, I don't know if I mentioned this in the Setup Wars video, but I would pick up some cheap acoustic stands for the speakers, but other than that, everything else is pretty much perfect. I love it. Job well done, Nick, as always. Coming in at 12.5K votes is Imperion and his cozy FAP station. I think I've seen that model layout one other time in the Battlestations subreddit. It's not popular, but it's somewhat functional if you want to optimize vertical screen real estate with 2 smaller displays. There's really no other way he could have done it, judging by the narrow wall space that he has. I would really hope that he made the text larger on Windows, because sitting that far from the screen is going to appear very small and it will damage his eyes in the long run. I can already tell just by looking at the taskbar, the icons are really hard to read, but maybe he's actually a lot closer to the TV than it appears in the photos. I also can't tell if the PC is mounted on the wall or if it's just sitting on a riser of some sort, but really good work on the cable management, and I love the awesome display you created for the classic consoles. When I look at this photo, I see a lot of things. I see success, I see balance, but above all, I see someone who most likely gets what he wants. This is an individual who most likely worked his ass off to get to where he is now, and if I'm right about that, this photo is very inspiring. For anyone watching this video that doesn't have a setup, or maybe has a crappy setup, maybe you're living in your parents' basement, whatever the situation is, if you're very unhappy with your current situation, I want you guys to look at this photo and envision yourself standing by the window with a cup of coffee or tea, overlooking the city. This isn't a fairy tale. I'm here to tell you that this can be a reality. Maybe not this one exactly, but something like it. You know, as long as you guys are dedicated and you're passionate about something and you're good at it, you can achieve your dreams. Passion alone is not going to be enough, unfortunately. You have to be good at it. We came into this country with nothing in our pockets. My single mom raising my brother, my sister, and I all by herself, working 2 jobs, going to school part-time to learn English. We didn't have it all. We didn't have the best childhood. But my entire life, I just refused to settle. I tried so many different things. I failed at most of them, but ultimately I found something that I was very passionate about. And I would say I'm pretty decent at it too. Well, okay, that was a bit off topic, my bad guys. I guess what I'm trying to say here is just don't give up on your dreams. This one has a very interesting layout. I don't know why it reminds me of science classrooms from high school, but it does. It's a very odd layout for a normal bedroom or even a living room in the States. It could very well be in another country if I had to make an educated guess. The cabinets look like they're custom made too. I wouldn't be surprised if everything, including the countertops, are custom made here. I like how everything is cohesive, and I'm obsessed with that high ceiling. I think it was genius to highlight that with the nanoleaf panels, by the way. As far as the actual setup, looks like he's rocking an ultraride with a custom PC and a laptop as a secondary system. Pretty straightforward stuff, nothing really exciting there. I'm more impressed with the location of the setup than the actual setup itself. I'm just trying to figure this one out. It looks interesting. It looks nothing like a traditional setup. Is that a Sour Patch container on the table? What is that? I'm stumped, you guys. This is the first time I don't know what I'm gonna say or what I'm even looking at. I'm gonna assume the desk is custom made because if you look closely, you can kind of see the intake fans from the front. So it's one of those built-in drawer PCs. But where's the keyboard and oh, there's a pull-out drawer. There's 2 of them actually. So the monitor layout looks cool. This is what I like to call a butterfly layout, but he actually does it a lot better than Montana Black's setup because he actually combined all 4 of them together nicely. There was a missed opportunity to flip the top 2 monitors upside down to get rid of the thick bezels. Also, I don't really think you need a taskbar on all 4 monitors. I feel like you can just change that so it shows up on the primary one unless you did it for symmetry reasons. This dude has multiple wall outlets right there in front of him for convenient access. And are those speakers in the wall? I'm so confused. I hate assuming things, but when there's only one picture and no details about the setup, it makes it really hard to dissect. Let me see if I can find more information about this setup. I'll be right back.
1 eternity later.
Okay, I found a video, so I think we should watch this together. Sorry, this post has been removed by the moderators. Why does it say that and the video is still here? I'm so confused. Anyways. Oh, there it is, the pull-out drawer. Oh, it's got a button, I'm guessing, to turn the PC on. Oh, that's so badass. What is that Sour Patch thing there for? Nice. Keyboard and mouse, nice. Oh, there's a second button. What does that do? Oh my God, dude, are you serious? Are you serious? That's for the Sour Patch container? It's like wobbling it's a dispenser! Of course. How can you get any work done with a freaking Sour Patch dispenser? Built-in drawers, very nice. Damn, this setup kind of reminds me of Bruno's setup. It has so many utilities built in, it's freaking cool. So, what the hell was that? Am I even allowed to show this without getting demonetized? What the hell did he pull out? What is that? Oh my God, what the hell is that? Can someone let me know in the comment section what the hell I'm looking at? If I had to guess, maybe a spore from Last of Us or one of those alien things from Half-Life. I have no clue what the hell I'm looking at, but if you guys do, let me know in the comment section what game or movie this is from. I'm more confused after watching the video than I was before. What are those things in the wall? Is there exhaust for your PC? Where are all the freaking cables? Like, this is a very mysterious setup. Wired Workshop, if you're watching this video, I invite you to come on to Setup Wars. Please, I need answers. We all need answers, but a very, very sick setup nonetheless. Okay, you can't tell me this setup doesn't look like Britney's original setup. The resemblance is uncanny. It's clear that this person took inspiration from Brit. Actually, I don't even think it's inspiration if it's a direct copy of the setup. Inspiration would mean you would take some ideas from the source and then mix it in with your own ideas to create a unique setup. There's nothing exciting about copying another setup. It's very flattering to Britney, no doubt, but I'm confused why this is ranked up so high. Imagine showing up for an exam and copying the smart kid next to you and passing the exam. The only way this should have been allowed on the subreddit was if OP put in "inspired by Britney" in the title. So I had to scroll quite a bit in the comment section before seeing any mention of Britney. And the funny thing is, the guy under OP literally thought it was her setup. Just to be clear, guys, there's nothing wrong with copying setups. Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. If anything, that's awesome to see that in the setup community. I just don't like how this setup was presented. This guy must be pooping diamonds for a living because this attic looks absolutely decked out with high-end gear. I may not know much about speakers, but I was told by a smart man once that there is a correlation with the size and the price of them. The bigger they are, the more expensive they are. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's what I keep hearing. But I don't doubt Grizz is a broke man by any means. Actually, hold on. 30. I count only 30 Nanoleaf panels. Yeah, he's definitely not rich. A rich person would have more than 50 Nanoleaf panels, according to the Nanoleaf scale. Also, zooming in on the PC, it looks like he's rocking an NVIDIA Founders Edition card. Judging by how thin it is, I'm going to assume it's a 30 series card, especially since the setup was posted 2 years ago. So that lines up. But yeah, the setup is such a vibe. I don't think I'll ever want to get out of that beanbag chair. This is like the perfect spot to clap cheeks online and offline. It's the ultimate shag shack. I'm curious how much the total cost though. Grizz, if you're watching, let me know in the comment section. Oh wow, okay, this is a really nice setup to end on. I love the speaker placement up top. It could be angled just a little bit more towards the bottom, but I love that he covered the cables with green vines. This is a really nice mix of nature and tech. Of course, I have to point out the different size monitors. You guys probably saw that a mile away, but he did make up for it by mounting all the monitors against the wall with clean cable work. This setup was very tastefully done. And can we appreciate that cheeky cut into his desk to make it fit around his heater? That was not an easy decision to make, I'm pretty sure, but one that had to be made in order to fit the desk in this area. So we're gonna leave off at Cheeky Scrub. If you guys are enjoying the series so far, do show your love by tossing a like and make sure you subscribe for part 4 coming in 2 weeks. Thank you guys so much for watching as always, and I'll see you very soon in the next one.